Welcome to Rockingham. It's round 6 of the 2017 Championship, and we've got a little bit of a treat here for you. The GB Racing Military Inter-Services Championship. We have stacks of riders from all of the services that come to play at Thundersport, and it's great that these guys get a chance every so often to have a little race against each other. All different bikes, different machinery. We've had a few of these races before. Me and Syd have been clashing heads before this one, trying to rack our brains as to whether it's actually been televised. We don't think it has, but it is now. Away we go from the line, and these guys, Syd, from of course the RAF, the British Army, the Navy.
We're on board with Fuse the Luge.
Fuse the Luge. It's great to have this race, although we should point out, Syd, that we haven't got all of our services actually on the grid at the moment.
No.
Well, we haven't got that, as in we haven't got all the riders.
No, because they do.
Some of them are actually out on tour at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this is how it works. I mean, and this is why we have like a round at every round, which is normally held on a Saturday, but then it's the best of, you know, like the best 6 will count. So now we're getting into the areas. So what you actually see at the moment, points-wise, is probably not dead on correct. Because you're now going to have people dropping their worst rounds.
Yeah, I'm going to put my hands up and I'm going to say that if you've looked at the military services points and the way they work, as we ride on board with Anthony Van Looy, one of our RAF riders, it confuses the heck out of me looking at the points. But what we can say is there is a championship, if you're new to watching this, for riders and also for the forces themselves as well, and it is fierce competition. We have had all 3, I think, winning the actual championship at some point.
Yeah.
The Navy, the RAF and the British Army, they've all had a turn at winning, and it gets more and more fierce every year, Syd.
I think the Navy prefer to be called the Royal Marines, if I'm honest, but there you go, it is the Navy, but they like to be called, it's the Royal Marines Motor Racing Association, so but I mean it is the Navy, so it's Navy, Army and RAF.
And in terms of the rules of this race, Syd, what are the rules in terms of what bikes you can use, etc.?
You can use any bike. It's whatever bike you normally, nearly all these guys do compete separately in their respective championships along with everyone else. And the deal is that they get to race these rounds for free. You notice Ant Van Looy, by the way, he's on that Moto 2 bike, which is quite a special bit of kit, is that?
It's supported and has been supported by GB Racing for some time as well.
Well, yes, for as long back as I can remember. GB Racing, who obviously do all the engine protection, the covers, and the bike protection, the mushrooms to stop the damage when they go down and things like this. Stop the casings wearing through on the tarmac. They support the Thundersport 600 Sportsman Elite and the GB Racing British Military Inter-Services Championship. Which is an amazing championship. I'm not going to go into how the points work because it'll just blow your mind.
It will.
But it's not normal. It doesn't work as normal.
What is great to see is a mixture of different machinery on circuit. We're just on board there with Lee Howarth. He's on a CB500. He's up against GP1 bikes. There's that Moto 2 machine that you're on about. What a beauty that is. There's all sorts out there to look out for. This is your race leader, Stephen Kaplan, who I believe is a former champion as a solo rider. I think Steve Kaplan has won it before as a champion. The current championship leader in the race programme, but as Syd said, we won't go into too much detail, but we've got to mention it because it's in the programme.
We've got at the Donington 500, we've got 3 military races which are all going to be championship races, so it's going to make a huge difference. That's forthcoming after this, couple of weeks after this. So.
Before that, Michael Coxon from the Army leading the championship, but not by a lot. And in terms of the overall team points coming into this, there were there's not a lot in it again, but the British Army team at the moment have the advantage. On circuit, the RAF have got it here at Rockingham. But in general, Sid, as we watch these guys going round, Kaplan, Van Looy, Langley, Redmond, Vickerman, they're all going well in this race at the moment.
Because they all get points, just to interrupt there, in their respective championships.
Of course, yeah.
They get points for starting, they get points for finishing, they get points for how many people they're in front of, you know, so that, because if somebody, for example, has got a CB500, whereas, like, for example, like Steve Kaplan's got like a missile, you know, Kawasaki missile, you know, it wouldn't be fair. Like in this race, it's an unfair advantage. But
what I love as well, Sid, is the inter-services rivalry, because it's healthy, it's not unhealthy. You've only got to look at what happens with rugby these days as well. I mean, they have a massive game at Twickenham. These guys also, though, they do get discounts, do they not?
oh, somebody's just gone down there. Who's that just gone down?
Someone's gone down in a big way. That is a big crash there, further back, trying to pick up on the number 55, Ben Rainbow.
Oh.
Well, there's no pot of gold at the end of that rainbow.
No, there isn't.
Yeah, is it still the case?
No, how it works, it used to be a discount, but then what we did was we changed it, balloted by the riders or the the services and everything else. They get these races for free.
Right.
So these military only races they get for free. There's no entry fee, so that comes as a form of discount now.
Oh no, I like it. I like it.
Also, the other nice thing this year, every single round they all park up together, and it looks amazing. You know, with the Marines, the RAF and the Army all parking up in a line, always looks amazing.
At the end of the season as well, when or the start of next season, when we have the presentation evening, always great to see them in their clobber.
Yeah, brilliant. They're really fantastic crowd and support. Thundersport GB without question. We love them a bit, and we do everything we can to help these guys.
There's some real characters in the forces across as well. I mean, the RAF, the Army, the Navy. I've met some wonderful people who are still in it, some that are no longer in it.
CB500, there you see, look. He's still going to have a go.
Exactly, Lee Howarth.
Oh no, he's not!
Commentary curtain, Syd.
No.
Lee Howarth has gone down.
Oh, sorry, Lee.
Sid called it, I'm afraid. But that is the end of the road there for Lee Howarth, I'm afraid. We just saw there Ryan Redman. He's out there on his Super Twin bike. We've got number 43 there, Rob Vickerman. He's out there on his R6.
Strangely enough, Dave Langley, I think he's out there on his Triumph 675, not indeed his Golden Era steel frame bike.
Well, yeah, that would make sense. You'd want the faster of the two machines.
Yeah.
He's not silly.
No, he's certainly not silly.
Steve Kaplan it is that leads this one, number 99. Just behind him on circuit there you can see number 77, Anthony Van Looy. In fact, I'm wrong, that is David Langley, isn't it? Just up ahead of him. No, it's Stephen Thomas. I do apologise, I'm getting myself in the right mix up here. Anthony Van Looy is behind Stephen Thomas there. David Langley's further up the road. Or is he? I'm getting well confused. No, he's not. David Langley's further back. Anthony Van Looy and Steve Thomas are fighting for second place. The British Army rider at the moment is the only one inside the top four not to be of the RAF. We got there in the end. This is Stephen Kaplan though, RAF Motorsport Association. Just about, I think it was about 2 or 3 years ago now, the conversations you'd have with the various members of the Army, the RAF, the Navy, about what they actually, what their role is within the force is fascinating as well.
There's quite a lot of stuff that you don't even know, isn't there?
Unbelievable amounts of stuff.
Can you believe it's the last lap already?
Last lap flag is out then for this GB Racing British Military Inter-Services race, televised for the first time. Steve Kaplan is loving it. He's is properly going for it at the moment here in this race. Steve Kaplan, despite winning this race at the moment, doesn't feature inside the top 10 of the points, but as Sid said, there's quite a bit going on over at Donington at the Thundersport 500, and it's great that all of their stuff is recognised really with Thundersport, the first, I think, club in the world to properly recognise forces in terms of motorcycle racing, and it is wildly popular.
And the long-term plan was for them to have their own races, which they've had almost every round this year, and then like this particular round, they've had a race yesterday and a race today, as you said, televised for the first time. So it's brilliant. It's still building.
Good stuff. Well, the checkered flag is being ready. And it looks like, well, I have to say, on this final lap, oh dear, there's Anthony Van Looy. Who was that going down? That's Stephen Thomas, I think, who's just gone down.
The last lap.
On the last lap, it is. Stephen Thomas has gone down. The Army rider out of the race, and he's shaking his head. And what that means, Sid, is it's going to be an RAF lockout in the top 3. Across the line there goes Stephen Kaplan. He has won the race convincingly, but it means that Anthony Van Looy will get second place and David Langley third. All of them are part of the Royal Air Force Motorsports Association.
Amazing.
So, even though at the moment the British Army team might have the team points on the board, the RAF are rocking it here at the Rock. They take the top 3 spots. In 4th there is Ryan Redmond of the British Army, another RAF runner there in 5th as well. Rob Vickerman in 6th was Jason Markham from the Army. So not the best day for the Navy, but they'll be back. It's bye from us here at Rockingham. We'll see you next time at Anglesey.